And unfortunately, as we're moving through this process and we're all learning together, there are some times when you have to be the bearer of bad news. And today I have to be that person, and I'm super bummed about it. Well, hey, hello, how are you? I hope you're doing very, very well. Welcome back to our channel. And if you are new here, let me introduce myself. My name is Jillian Wise. I own Far Out Tiny Homes in Las Vegas, Nevada. This channel has a primary focus on advocacy work as far as the legality issues surrounding tiny homes. Obviously, we do tiny home tours and tiny home vacation stays and whatnot, but our primary focus here is to help educate and inspire. But first, before I get into this heavy sadness, what do you think of the new background? I went ahead and rearranged it to kind of bring in some new energy into the space. If you like what you have to see, hit that little like button, show me some love. I could really use it right now. That would be awesome. Second, just a little bit of housekeeping. We're gonna change our upload schedule to every Friday at 4 p.m. instead of the old Tuesday at 9 a.m. schedule. So be on the lookout for our new videos every Friday at 4. But other than that, let's get into this. So many of you have been following along with my advocacy work for tiny homes here in Las Vegas, Nevada. You've seen us move through some highs and some lows, and today, unfortunately, is kind of a low point, but I do have a call to action nearing the end of the video that I really want you to stay around for, because I need your help for real. So a refresher on kind of what we have been doing. I have called so many planning, zoning, and permitting departments here in Las Vegas over the few years that Far Out Tiny Homes has been in business, and looking to see what it would take to get a tiny home permitted or even just a smaller home permitted. Our big issue here is Las Vegas home size has a minimum of 1,200 square feet, which is absolutely massive, and we need a workaround. So in walks Appendix Q. Now, Appendix Q was an amendment added to the 2018 IRC. For those of you that are new here, the IRC means International Residential Code. If your county has adopted the 2018 IRC, there is an opportunity there for you to move forward with legalizing tiny homes. More so permanent foundation tiny homes, but let me tell you, it's a step in the right direction. Once I educated myself on Appendix Q and what it looks like and how it changes the code already established, I started reaching out to zoning, planning, and permitting officials asking who I could get in front of. After numerous calls, I finally found the right group of folks that I needed to present to, and I did present last month. Now, during this presentation, I educated them on Appendix Q, what it looks like, what it could do, and what it would mean for the city of Las Vegas as far as bringing affordability back into the housing market. Because if you live in a housing market that's anything like Las Vegas, you'll understand that houses here are becoming, they're just not affordable, and it's really, really difficult for a lot of people that are just trying to have a tiny slice of the pie. I mean, it's kind of actually ridiculous. So in walks this idea of having Clark County adopt Appendix Q. I go ahead and I present to the folks that I feel will have the most influence on whether we can adopt this amendment or not. And for the most part, everybody seemed to be on board during my presentation. While they didn't move to adopt Appendix Q right during that meeting, they did say, you know, we're looking to adopt it. It does sound good, but we want you to reach out to some zoning and planning jurisdictions here in Clark County and see what they have to say. Out of the 3 jurisdictions I was told to call, one of those jurisdictions was completely on board. The second jurisdiction was timid to move forward and said they didn't understand or they didn't feel a need for tiny homes here in Las Vegas as of right now. And the third jurisdiction never called me back. Total bummer. I gave myself about 2.5 weeks to get all this information put together, and I sent it back to the board in which I presented Appendix Q to. And I just said, hey, you know, we have one jurisdiction that is completely on board and excited to move forward, and the other 2 are a little tepid. So what can I do in order to push this endeavor forward? And then came the longest week of my life. The longest week. I didn't hear back from any of the board members. I was just kind of sitting there twiddling my thumbs and wondering, like, what could I be doing to push this endeavor forward? Well, last Friday, I got my answer. I did receive the email that I was waiting for, although it wasn't the news I wanted. it was brought to my attention that there are just too many unknown variables within Appendix Q and that Clark County would not move forward with the adoption. Talk about a low blow. I did a lot of research and I spent a lot of time on this, and then to just be told we're just not going to do it because there's too many unknowns. I mean, I was bummed, you guys. I'm still super bummed about it, actually, because the whole idea of the tiny house movement is to let more folks have the opportunity of home ownership. It really has nothing to do with far out tiny homes, and I'm sure some of you are thinking, oh yeah, okay. But what it really comes down to is service for our local community and really representing those folks that don't want to own a 1,200 or more square foot house, that they want to live a minimal lifestyle, that they don't want to consume all of the resources that these huge houses take to run. And other than us, there just is zero representation here for people to say, gosh, is tiny even an option? While we are still permitting these 2,500 and 3,000 square foot homes. To say we're out of balance here in Las Vegas would be an understatement. We need to have somebody rallying around this movement, teaching folks, educating folks, speaking their language that says, you know, this is good for the community. What are we supposed to do from here? And my call to action is coming, so if you are still watching, please continue. I'm almost there, I promise. So I get that email, I'm shattered, Josh is shattered, we're all just so bummed. The whole weekend we were just kind of like sad Sallies, really. So I immediately got in touch with Dan Fitzpatrick, who, if you are unfamiliar with his work, he is a huge advocate within this industry. He is the president of the Tiny Home Industry Association, or better known as THIA. He helps out so many people that are going through exactly what I'm going through, just advocating and trying to legalize tiny homes. And so, of course, he was the first person I called. Hey, this is the situation. This is the news I just got. Where do we go from here? Thankfully, Dan has done this many times and he had another plan. So basically what's gonna happen next week is I am meeting with a Nevada state senator and we are going to discuss the Senate Bill 150. Now this Senate Bill 150 was introduced in 2017 by a different senator here in Nevada, and it has to do with affordable housing, and there's some other different amendments that have been brought into the bill. We'll flash forward to end of February 2021, Senator Dallas Harris has introduced a few amendments, including tiny homes, in this bill. This senator is super progressive, and I am nervous and excited to be speaking with her on Tuesday because I feel she wants this change just as much as I do. So we will be sitting down and speaking with her on Tuesday. And then we are also going to start meeting with some county commissioners that can also get behind this movement. So instead of going the route of trying to work with zoning, planning, and permitting, which I still feel is important. So if you are on this road and that is what you're doing right now, I don't feel like you should just veer off this road and start this new endeavor. If your zoning, planning, and permitting office are totally like on board with what you're saying, continue that route. But if you're receiving a lot of pushback, there are other ways, there are other means of getting this pushed through, okay? So what can you do? What can you do? This is a good question because there are so many times that I wished that somebody would have spoken to me like this and been like, here's what I'm doing. Here's how you can help, right? I think it's so important. So in the description, I am going to put a link to a couple websites. On those websites, we'll have the contact information for our 7 county commissioners here in Clark County. And it will also have Senator Dallas Harris's contact information, and I am going to encourage you all to call the offices or write an email showing your support not only of SB 150, but also your support of tiny homes in general here in Las Vegas. I feel like I could talk all day long with Senator Harris regarding tiny homes and the issues that we have here. But I'm just one voice. And while my voice is finally going to be heard, I need the chorus singing behind me saying, yes, this is what we want. I want all of you to help, to call, to email, do whatever you can to let the county know that this is something you all want to see here. Because if I'm the only one saying, yes, 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 let's move it, let's do it, we got this, let's move forward, you understand what I'm saying. Like, I need more of you. So after this video, if you have 3 minutes to spare, please click the links, please email the senator, and please email your county commissioner. Now, county commissioner, how do I figure out who my county commissioner is? There is a list of the 7 county commissioners. Just read what jurisdiction they are in, and you will see like Henderson or Summerlin or, you know, different parts within Las Vegas. It's super easy to find who your county commissioner is. But more so, let's say you have an idea of where you would like to put a tiny home, or better yet, create a tiny home community. You would contact that jurisdiction's county commissioner, if that makes sense. And if you need help with this, please reach out to me. Shoot me an email, farouttinyhomes@gmail. No solicitation, please. But if you are really interested in pushing this endeavor forward, that's how you're gonna help. Now, I have had multiple phone calls with folks here on a local level that says, I wanna donate my time, I wanna volunteer, how can I help? This is it. This is the beginning stages of you getting involved. So if you are ready and you're ready to pull up your sleeves and do some dirty work with me, we can get this going together. So now if you are finding this content useful and you want to stay actively engaged, I would definitely consider subscribing. New videos out now every Friday at 4 p.m. And that wraps it up for us. So as always, you know what to do. Keep it groovy. Have a great day, you guys.
I can help you out. I can